Hello, welcome to the demo for the Auto Properties plugin, a plugin for Obsidian that I plan to submit for their community plugins page here shortly that I wanted to make a little demo of. So what this is a plugin that allows you to define rules for certain keys of metadata or front matter in your notes, and then have the values of those metadata set based on rules, again, that you configure. So easier just to show you rather than to explain it. But basically you can have a note where the metadata is actually having its values pulled or calculated based off the content of the note itself. You can have as many of these rules as you like, and each of the rules looks like this when you configure it. You get to set the property, you get to set the actual rule and change some modification or change some modifiers on it. And basically what's happening is on file edit or as desired, the front matter will consult the rules set that you put into the plugin settings, and it will find content in the note body based on these rules and then write values back to the front matter. So there's going to be some documentation on how to install this. It's pretty straightforward, but I wanted to do a quick demo of why I made this, how it can be used. So bases are cool. I like them, and they're somewhat tedious to work with in certain ways. Like these cards are really nice. I like having these images, but I don't really want to manage the image property directly. What I'd like to do is just have the image property set based off of whatever the first image is inside of the note. So what I've got going is a auto property. So this is the settings tab. You can have as many of these as you like. You can add more or delete ones that you have. I've got this image auto property that's keyed by image. The rule is pull the first line. I could have it pull all lines or count the lines, starting with, containing or ending with, or matching a regex. And then you get to supply whatever the search string is here. So it reads basically like plain English. The rule is, hey, pull the first line that starts with this. Each time you change a file, the rule runs. And if I put a new image in above this image, we will see the rule run and update to, instead of, yeah, there we go, example file. So now if I go back, we now have the example file rather than cool guy points. And if I delete this, it will change in the settings or in the properties. And when I go back to the base, there you go, back to cool guy points. So you're no longer having to manage changing things up here. You can just make the rule one time and have it pull up automatically. I also have rules that automatically count the number of open tasks and closed tasks. That's quite literally count lines that start with this, count lines that start with that. You can also have it pull all of the lines that contain something or start with something. And that could be useful for if you have multiple next actions or something. That's kind of what I was going to do with this, was to have a, I wanted to have a base like this, where I could see my projects. I could see a summary that I didn't have to manage independently, have it automatically calculate the completed tasks, the open tasks. I then use basis formulas to do a % complete. And I wanted to be able to see like what the next thing I'm doing is. So that is in essence this plugin. Now what this plugin does not do is allow you to come in here and make changes to this page and then have those changes actually reflected down in the body of the note. So my changes here show up only until I make any sort of edit on this page, which will trigger the plugin that there's been a modification on this page, and it will overwrite this summary with the content of this TLDR block because I have a rule that says it should do that. So I'm going to make one change, and we will see it go back away and reflect what is actually here. So one thing that is neat that I haven't demoed yet If a block has a block ID like this, the property will recognize that and turn itself into a link that will link you directly to that block, which is particularly useful in this sense where you've got a base. You can say your first task. If you can't edit it here, at least you can click on it and link to it and then edit it here. So that's plugin in a nutshell. Like I said, it never updates the body of the note. It's all updating the properties based on the body. Hope you enjoy. Give it an install. Give it a crack. And yeah, have a Merry Christmas or whatever.